Hi there. We would love to talk to you about Collective Hearts and just share a little bit about the journey so far of these events online and in person that Courtney and I co-host together. And basically where we're helping people tune in to that living in the heart frequency, both at the individual level and the collective level for the planet. Would that describe it, kind of?
Yeah, it's sort of this place of, as we tune into our hearts both add to the collective field of heart frequency, and we also are lifted by the heart frequency. And when we think about what's going on the planet right now, there's a lot of chaos, and a lot of the prophecies speak about this is a time where there's supposed to be a lot of chaos and a lot of change, and the way to move through it is through the heart. And so the invitation, both collectively and in our individual journeys, is to anchor into that heart frequency more and more. And Kevin and I think, feel called to support that part of the collective movement. And this means supporting individuals to come more into their heart, and then also that is feeding the collective field. And we're also going through that journey in our own hearts and sort of devoting ourselves to that awakening in our hearts as well, and offering that to the field. So
yeah, I think over the years of being a practitioner, I've noticed that when we're not really fully integrated into the heart, all kinds of things happen, and it can get chaotic in the body with illnesses and challenges that come up, and that can also be reflected in your life in many different ways, from relationship issues to just even being tired all the time, is a really easy one, or anxious. And it seems like as we create alignment and coherence in the heart, and we start living through that deeper guidance and wisdom, things change. And I've experienced that personally in my life in many different ways, and it's constantly offering up that opportunity of how can I reorient to my heart, even when things are difficult or challenging, which they can be at times. Living in the heart doesn't mean it's all flow and grace and ease all the time, but it can be too. And in the retreat in person especially, we dive in using a lot of different processes and practices to get you living in the heart, but also to open it and to pull that alignment, I guess, into your external life and in your internal life. So it's been a real privilege co-hosting with Courtney, and what we get to see and witness in our participants is often huge shifts and huge transformations, and even big impacts to health, and really stepping forward into a much higher vibration, and then watching and observing what happens in their lives as a result of that. And some big changes usually come up, and that's usually what excites me so much, is helping people get into their heart. And with Courtney and I doing that work together, then it provides a really great balance, and it's a lot of fun too.
There's lots of laughter, lots of playfulness, and there's just something about bringing people together, almost like spending several days together, where we're living together and we're experiencing life together, and going into our heart space and going into the some of the sticky parts or the shadowy parts, but we're all in it together. That is such a big part of the healing that's needed on the planet right now. And I really feel passionate in myself, in my own journey, about relational healing, about this place of how do we all be our own unique being in relation, and really getting to discover and feel how our unique, diverse self is part of the harmony and the beauty of the collective. And so the collective heart field really allows us to have a felt sense embodiment of that, of what it is we add to a group, and what it is that we also get from a group when we're all holding each other with love and support and nourishment. And Yeah, it's a really beautiful opportunity too to dive into deeper healing. A piece that can happen for people is when we're just on the solo journey, there's only so much that we can move and shift on a solo journey. There really are parts of ourselves that are relational. There's parts of being human, which is we are a collective being, we are part of a village. And so there's parts of us that need to heal in community. And we need safe spaces to do that. We need spaces that can hold us in that process. And this is our prayer and our offering. And we're noticing that this is gathering more and more momentum and more support. And it's becoming more and more of a grounded space for that to happen. And that in itself is part of this evolution of humanity, is these spaces that we all get to co-create together.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of what we do at the retreats, again, in person or online, is try and teach and share tools and share resources and, you know, these aspects of healing sometimes that we had no idea needed to be healed. They often come to the surface, you know, they come to the surface to be expressed. And sometimes that can show up in, you know, as physical pain or emotional dysregulation. And then when we get to the event and we start unpacking some of that stuff, then you see people shift in their energy and you see their bodies start to shift and how they move and how they even speak. And that light that comes through the eyes, you know, the window of the soul, if we can allow that heart to express in that way, then yeah, it's so beautiful to watch. It's so beautiful to hold space for. So yeah, it's such an honor to do this work. And we're often humbled by, you know, being on the heart path and our humanness. And it's also inspiring of how can we move through challenges with as much grace as we can and still stay in the heart even when things get challenging and difficult. So these are all things that we've learned both, you know, professionally and personally, and we want to offer as much as we can to the whole community of everybody that joins the Collective Hearts movement, I guess, but the bigger picture of how we can impact the planet. And probably never been a better time to do that, of living in the heart space. So
and just know that whoever you are, if you feel called to join, you have a special medicine to bring to the circle. You have something to offer to this field, no matter where you are in your journey. So we've had people show up who are like, I have never done something like this before. This is all new to me, to be in a space like this, to people that are very masterful and they've been on the spiritual heart journey for a long time. And this is what's so cool about a collective field, is it takes people of all ages, of all places in the journey to sit together in order for us to learn all the lessons that need to be learned. So really trusting that if you feel called to this field, that's because you have something to offer and the field has something to offer you. So yeah, I love continuing to create with Kevin, and it always just brings excitement, and we feel this like excitement in this, the blessings we have in our hearts and what we've received from this collective heart work. It's like we get to keep pouring it forward, and yeah, we look forward to all the future gatherings.
All right, many blessings on your heart journey, and yeah, I think that's it.
May you be well.
Yes, thank you.